The year was 2004. It was a year that would be etched into the memories of millions forever. December was a time of joy and celebration, with families coming together to celebrate the festive season. But this December was different. It was about to be marked by one of the most devastating natural disasters in recent history. It was the day after Christmas. Families were celebrating, children were playing, the world felt peaceful. Then, the earth shook. The ground trembled violently, sending shockwaves through the hearts of those who felt it. It was a moment of sheer terror, as the festive cheer turned into a nightmare. A giant earthquake, deep beneath the ocean, tore through the seabed. It unleashed a monster. The tectonic plates shifted with immense force, causing the ocean floor to rupture. This underwater earthquake was one of the most powerful ever recorded, with a magnitude of 9.1 to 9.3. The energy released was equivalent to 23,000 Hiroshima-type atomic bombs. A giant wave, a tsunami, rose from the sea. This wave was not just any wave, it was a colossal force of nature, born from the depths of the ocean. It gathered momentum as it traveled, growing in size and strength. It was taller than buildings, faster than any boat. The sheer scale of the wave was unimaginable. It moved with incredible speed, leaving little time for those in its path to react. The wave's height and velocity made it an unstoppable force. This was no ordinary wave. It was a phenomenon that defied comprehension. The power it carried was enough to obliterate anything in its way. The ocean, usually a symbol of tranquility, had turned into a harbinger of destruction. This was a wall of water, angry and powerful, racing towards the shore. It was as if the ocean itself had risen in fury, determined to reclaim the land. The wave's approach was relentless, and there was no escaping its wrath. The tsunami crashed into coastlines around the Indian Ocean. The impact was catastrophic. Coastal communities were caught off guard, and the wave's force was devastating. It swept away everything in its path, leaving a trail of destruction. Countries like Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and many more were caught in its path. The tsunami did not discriminate. It affected multiple nations, each experiencing unimaginable loss and devastation. The scale of the disaster was unprecedented. It destroyed everything in its wake. Buildings, homes, and infrastructure were reduced to rubble. The once vibrant coastal areas were now scenes of desolation. The human toll was immense, with thousands losing their lives and many more left homeless. Homes were reduced to rubble. Lives were lost. The aftermath was heart-wrenching, with communities struggling to come to terms with the scale of the disaster. Families were torn apart, and the grief was palpable. The world watched in horror. News of the tsunami spread rapidly, and the global community was shocked by the magnitude of the disaster. Aid and support poured in from around the world as people came together to help those affected by this unprecedented tragedy. In Aceh, Indonesia lived a little girl named Raudhatul Jannah. Everyone called her Rauda. She was 4 years old. Rauda had bright, curious eyes and a smile that could light up a room. She loved playing with her brother Arif, and her days were filled with laughter and joy. Rauda lived with her mother, father, and brother. They were a happy family. Life was simple, filled with the warmth of love and the comfort of togetherness. Rauda's father was a fisherman. He loved the sea. It provided for his family. He never imagined the sea would one day take everything away. That fateful morning, Rauda was with her mother and brother. They were close to the shore when the tsunami struck. The ground trembled beneath their feet. Before they could understand what was happening, a monstrous wave towered over them. The water crashed down, swallowing everything in its path. The force was unimaginable. Rauda was ripped from her mother's arms. She was swept away by the raging current. Rauda's world turned into a whirlpool of chaos and fear. She clung to debris, tossed around like a leaf in a storm. The little girl, once filled with laughter, was now alone, clinging to life in a sea of destruction. Days turned into nights. The sun beat down on Rauda's small frame. She was adrift at sea, holding onto a piece of floating wood. Hunger gnawed at her stomach, thirst parched her throat, yet she held on. A small, fragile girl, lost and alone, showed incredible strength. She refused to give up. Something inside her, perhaps the will to see her family again, kept her going. Rauda's story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, especially in the face of unimaginable adversity. Section 5. Years of uncertainty, a family torn apart. Rauda was eventually found. She was weak and scared, but she was alive. The ordeal had left her physically and emotionally drained. The once vibrant and playful child was now a shadow of her former self, haunted by the memories of the disaster. A kind woman found her on a remote island, miles away from home. This woman, who had also lost so much, saw in Rauda a chance to heal a part of her own broken heart. She took Rauda in without hesitation, offering her the warmth and safety she so desperately needed. The woman took her in, cared for her, and gave her a safe place. She provided Rauda with food, shelter, and most importantly, love. Slowly, Rauda began to heal, finding solace in the kindness of her new guardian. The bond they formed was strong, built on mutual need and compassion. Meanwhile, Rauda's family searched tirelessly for their little girl. They combed through the wreckage, holding on to the hope that she had somehow survived. Every day was a struggle, filled with uncertainty and fear, but they refused to give up. They refused to believe she was gone. Their faith and determination were unwavering. They prayed together, looked at missing person posters, and held hands as they gazed out to sea, hoping for a miracle. They clung to the hope that somehow, somewhere, their precious Rauda was alive. Years passed. Rauda grew older. She adapted to her new life, but the memories of her family never left her. She often found herself looking at old photographs, wondering if they were still searching for her. She had found a new family, but the memory of her parents and brother never faded. Her new family loved her dearly, but there was always a part of her that felt incomplete. She cherished the moments she had with her adoptive family, yet her heart ached for the reunion she dreamed of. She yearned for them, her heart aching for a reunion she didn't know was possible. As she grew into a young woman, the longing only intensified. She would often stand by the sea, tears in her eyes, holding a photo of her family, wondering if they were out there, thinking of her too. The hope of finding them kept her going, a beacon of light in her heart. Section 6. A Glimmer of Hope. Recognizing a familiar face. One day Rauda's uncle saw her picture. It was in a book about tsunami survivors. He recognized his niece instantly. The eyes, the smile, it was unmistakably Rauda. Overjoyed and filled with hope, he traveled to the island where Rauda lived. He met the woman who had taken her in. He listened to the story of her survival. Finally, after years of separation, he knew in his heart that he had found his brother's lost daughter. The news spread through the family like wildfire. Their prayers had been answered. Rauda was alive. Section 7. Reunion. The embrace that healed a decade. The reunion was emotional. It was a moment that had been anticipated for years, a moment that had been dreamt of in countless sleepless nights. The family had been torn apart by the devastating tsunami, but now, they were finally together again. Rauda, now a teenager, was filled with a mix of emotions. She had grown up in a different world, away from her family, and the reunion brought back a flood of memories. She remembered the days of laughter and joy, the warmth of her mother's embrace, and the strength of her father's arms. But she also remembered the pain of separation, the nights she cried herself to sleep, and the longing that never left her heart. Joy, disbelief, and a longing she had carried for so long. The disbelief that this moment was real, that she was finally back with her family, was overwhelming. The joy of seeing her parents, her brother, and the familiar faces of her loved ones was indescribable. And the longing, the deep yearning that had been a constant companion, was finally being fulfilled. She embraced her mother, the warmth of her hug erasing years of heartache and uncertainty. Her mother's arms, once a distant memory, were now a reality. The embrace was not just a physical act, but a healing process, a way to mend the broken pieces of their hearts. It was a silent promise that they would never be separated again. Her father, who had never given up hope, wept tears of relief. He had spent years searching, praying, and hoping for this day. The sight of his daughter, safe and sound, was a dream come true. His tears were a testament to the pain he had endured and the joy he now felt. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated happiness. His little girl was back in his arms. The years of separation had not diminished his love for her. If anything, it had grown stronger. Holding her close, he felt a sense of completeness, a feeling that everything was right in the world again. His heart, once heavy with sorrow, was now light with joy. Arif, her brother, who had grown up hearing stories of his brave sister, finally met her again. He had always looked up to her, admired her strength and courage. Seeing her in person after all these years was a surreal experience. The bond they shared, though tested by time and distance, was as strong as ever. They hugged, laughed, and cried, reliving the memories of their childhood. The tsunami had taken so much, but it couldn't break the unbreakable bond of family. The tragedy had tested their resilience, but it had also strengthened their love for each other. They had faced the worst, but they had come out stronger. The reunion was a testament to their unyielding spirit, their unwavering faith, and their enduring love. Rauda's return was a beacon of hope, a testament to the enduring power of love and faith. It was a reminder that no matter how dark the days may seem, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. The family's reunion was not just a personal victory, but a symbol of hope for all those who had faced similar trials. It was a celebration of life, love, and the unbreakable bond of family. Section 8. Raudhatul's Legacy, a Testament to the Human Spirit. Rauda's story is not just about survival, it is a story of hope, resilience, and the extraordinary strength of the human spirit. It teaches us that even in the darkest of times when all seems lost, there is always a reason to hold on. Her journey reminds us that hope can bloom even in the most desolate of places. It highlights the importance of courage, determination, and the unwavering belief in the power of love. Rauda's story is an inspiration to us all. It reminds us that even in the face of unimaginable tragedy, the human spirit can endure, overcome, and ultimately triumph. Section 9. Never Lose Hope, Inspiration from the Heart of Tragedy. The 2004 tsunami was a stark reminder of the immense power of nature. It left behind a trail of devastation and loss that will never be forgotten. But from the rubble of destruction emerged stories of extraordinary courage, compassion, and resilience, with Rauda's story shining brightly among them. Let us remember Rauda. Let her story inspire us to never give up hope, to cherish our loved ones, and to face life's challenges with courage and determination. For even in the darkest of nights, a single star can light up